Hey, William, you there? Hey, William. Yeah, we can hear you. All right, you don't speak for all right, it's 3 o'clock, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Meeting of Board of Elections on May 22nd, 2026. I'm going to call the meeting to order, please. As customary, we will have public comments now. We're going to try 2 minutes, if you don't mind, please, ma'am. Meeting on the serve. Anybody like to make any comments before we get started? Okay, great, thank you. All right, new business. If everybody will please look over the pre-certification of the report that is about a recap sheet and study it over, and please address Mr. Tom Gillen over there if we have any questions. If not, I would like a recommendation, a motion to please pre-certify the results of the election on 5/19. Excuse me. Minutes of the last meeting. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. I'd like to approve the minutes from the, call for motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, please.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much for your help, Mr. Abbott. I appreciate you too. Now let's get back to pre-certification. If people will go through that, please, I would like to entertain a motion to certify the pre-certification.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much. At this time, we would like to call your attention to the election summary report, and would like for you to certify, and I think we have to certify all 3 different elections. Am I right, Tom? Or can we do it all at one time?
It might be a William thing, I think y'all can do it as one.
Do we have to certify the Democrat, Republican, and Independent, or we can do all 3 together?
I think you can certify all together before you hear it.
I think it's fine. Anybody have? Okay. I would like to entertain a motion to certify the returns of the non-partisan, the Republican, and the Democratic general primaries held on May the 19th of 2026.
So moved.
Is there a second? There is. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. We will sign these, Tom, and give them to you. Okay? Staff reports, Tom.
All right, election numbers. Active voters, we had 105,667. Inactive, we had 9,995, for a combined total of 115,663. That's active as of this day. We had 5,419 people on BDS, which at least after the runoff, they dropped. 145 on Oliver, and 175 pending papers. Also, it will start dropping after a while. My report. And I want to say one thing, it's not really on here, but we had an interesting occasion, election day. We had a voter come in, I'm not going to mention names, but they came in and they voted, and on the way out, they dropped a $50 bill on the registration or the poll pad table saying, breakfast is on me. That was very generous of the voter, and I appreciate the voters' appreciation of our poll workers. However, we can't take this. And so that $50 will be returned to the voter with a very nice note of appreciation from me. But I just want to thank them publicly. They know who they are, and refunded their money. It was nice. It was a nice thought. The annex is proceeding out here. The current estimate, it will be mid-June when it is up and running. We may still have to do some wireless work, and we'll figure that out. But from a structural standpoint, mid-June. So,
I see the golf cart is still here and it will be here.
right. There's a question of whether they're going to leave it out here until the runoff or take it back and return it, but it will be here for the runoff.
And
We'll
it's
be
been,
here for the first day of early voting,
Yes.
so that's different than
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
first round.
Right. So.
Why was that?
That's more of a public works question. I let them know ahead of time about it. So either it wasn't available or the crew wasn't available, but I'd be fine if they want to leave it right there. So it won't even be an issue.
it's not leaving.
But
I'll let it come out.
But I'll remind them a week ahead of time if they have taken it back, that we need it as of 8:30.
Do you find a lot of people using that?
It was very popular.
Right.
We have a couple of good drivers. Very safe. Bad news, good news. Bad news is we will not have Clear and Ussery as a rec center because they have their camp going on that exact same week. Good news is that we found a replacement for them just down the street at Northminster Presbyterian, which also serves as Binder 5 on election day. So we'll have all 3 locations open for early voting. The risk limiting audit will take place a week from today. They'll do their official dice roll Thursday, and we'll get our information sometime later Thursday, and then I assume probably about 10 o'clock we'll get started and do the RLA Friday. We have a couple of days. We've never needed more than a day to do it. We will be doing 2 kind of separate RLAs. One is for one of the Senate races, and one is for one of the government races.
Is there going to be we have to go back and move forward, we have to revisit our number recount, not recount, check. What's it called?
That would be a recount. There was some talk of one of the public service commission races being close enough that it's a possibility that there may be a recount. In that case, we reload the memory cards and recount the absentee ballots. We just put all the same information the second time, unless we hear that any procedure is changed in that case. The staff is really looking forward to the holiday Monday. But that concludes Tom's report.
Any questions from Tom?
Oh, actually, one thing. The procedure for absentee ballots is going to be updated because what served us well for the first 4 elections this year, scanning the ballots right at 7 o'clock, didn't work very well last Tuesday because we had so many we had to duplicate. So from now on, we're going to open them early in the morning, mid-morning, which we've been doing, and then we're going to scan them as soon as they're all done open, and then have duplication well before 7 o'clock.
Will you please, and I'm not time, I want to make sure that, part of the problem we had one party who didn't have any representatives here to do those ballots. Would you please make sure each party is notified?
Right.
Democrat had somebody here, the other party didn't, and so Ms. Grafton's here at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to do it. Yeah. And it should be done that morning.
Right.
So
I'll make sure.
Absentee ballots are very fragile. They're handled by hand and they get folded and just, so the problem is that you're supposed to fill the ballot in with a little circle, right? And then don't read directions on the events and they check it or exit or anything. And we have to redo every one of those ballots because the machine won't be read it, right? So my first, I promise it's, I know it's there, we don't read it. I know it is. And y'all want to do a paper ballot. Anyway, so of the first 50 we ran, 10 threw it out, and they were spending hours and hours. This should have already been done. It should have been done, we should have started at 7, so please make sure we get that done, the day of the election, we're allowed to by law.
Right.
And let's make sure that we get the Republicans and the Democrats to get them sequestered like we used to do, and knock them out and get it done, please.
Yes, indeed. And the sequestration is only if we actually tabulate, the results, which, we're allowed to scan.
You're allowed to scan those ballots.
Without sequestration.
Right, and we're certainly allowed to adjudicate. And
Right.
adjudication is what takes so long,
Right.
because you have to have, by law, an independent of the Republican, one from each party by law.
Right.
And so you need to make sure that both parties are notified at what time you're going to start the adjudication that day of the election. What's the day of the election?
The
18th of June?
16.
16th of June. You need to let them all know that by the 16th of June at 11 o'clock, you're going to be here and you'll be sequestered until we leave. And that's the way it needs to be. So please make that happen, okay?
Nobody wants to stay around 2 or later.
No, they don't. I did. Sorry. I'm old. Morning. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Mr. Chairman, I want to, first of all, appreciate the work that you put in and suggesting an alternative that they're not free park, because I think that going into a runoff like this, without all 3 early voting locations open, would be unacceptable for our voters. I would also like to suggest that after the runoff, we issue an RFP for that 3rd early voting location, because it's pretty clear that anytime there's a summer election, there are free park just doesn't work, and we need some regularity for the voters. So that's something that I hope we'll work on after June 16th. I do have a question about Jarvis dashboard report. So at the last meeting, we had 7,009 DDS applications back up. And we had a very short window in which to process the voter registration. And if I recall correctly, I believe I asked at that time if somebody had their application in, would their application be processed in time for them to be able to vote in on the May 19th primary. And what I see here is we've got 5,419 in the queue at the moment. I assume that those are not all new applications through DDS that came in since last month.
Some of them are. Some of them are just the same information of existing voters who are already active, and DDS doesn't know that we already have that information, so they send, anytime you get your license renewed, they send Mr. Jones information back to us, and we have to go through each one of those. So some of those are just duplicate.
But some are not.
But some are not. But the ones that were.
So there are some people who had attempted in good faith to become registered via the DDS process, whose applications were not processed in time for them to vote.
Well, when that happened, then we found them on DDS. We determined whether or not they were done, sent out before the cutoff window, and they were allowed to vote.
So if somebody sends in, if we get it on our DDS system prior to the registration cutoff, and they come in and they are allowed to be able to vote because their DDS came in prior to the cutoff.
If we look them up and say, I moved to DDS from John Kerry.
I think what Tom's getting to is we want to make sure people are able to vote that want to vote.
Right.
I'm not trying to put words in.
No, that's almost like you're psychic.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean,
So yeah, we had a case where people came in and we were able to find them on the DDS and say, yes, you were registered in time, and even if the poll pad wouldn't automatically do that, we can activate a ballot on there.
I would say we have some downtime this summer, kind of digest this and knock it down some. However, we don't know what's happening.
Hopefully no more elections.
The election, but Well, never mind. Mr. Allen, you have a point.
Okay, that was my main question, is I'm very concerned about those numbers and making sure we don't have anybody further away, who should be allowed to vote. And I get that somebody said, hey, I registered, this way, there's a process. What about somebody who just comes in and finds out the name's not enrolled and doesn't question it for it?
I've not heard of that in cases that happened this election, but, I can make inquiries.
Okay.
Anybody got anything else from this deal? Legal report. Hey, William. William. Hey.
This is actually great.
Good. I know he's in a mediation. Is there any legal report? I don't think there is that we need today, but I'm still not obligated to do all.
No, I do not think so.
I think so. Okay. Thank you. Public comments. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was happy. I had a little list here and I've already checked off several things. A number of people wanted me to express appreciation for the change with the handicap accessibility, and they're pleased with the other work that's going on. And I keep using myself as an example. And maybe there needs to be a look at maybe the ADA, not just at election time. That is a long way to walk. And I'm telling you, everybody that's sick doesn't look sick. So that still is a long, long way. But anything that y'all can do to help us folks that are challenged would be appreciated. I know, and I did hear from some people who, expressed they wanted to come, but they didn't feel like there was anything in place to make sure that they could get in and vote. I wanted to ask, what is the process when people you got 9,995 inactive? What is the process, or is there a process that this board feels like you should have in place to get those folks activated? Or is it just left with someone who?
We can talk about that. I think if they bring their driver's license and show that one vote.
Okay, so it's totally on the voter.
Am I right, Tom?
An inactive voter is one that hasn't voted for 4 years. They're absolutely eligible to vote at any point. If they come in and vote, then they automatically become an active voter. If they go another 4 years without voting, then they're in danger of getting removed. Yeah, as far as the election day, early voting goes, the system doesn't differentiate between active and inactive voters.
Okay, but if somebody comes, they present themselves that they can vote. Which will become active.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The voter would never notice the difference.
I think y'all ought to have your beautiful and handsome faces on some PSAs, public service announcements saying this kind of stuff. Because everybody's not into voting and citizenship, and so they should be, but everybody's not. And so I think with the focus now, everybody's got TikTok, but we probably don't have TikTok, I don't. But with all the different things, Facebook and texting and all of that, I just think that there's some other things that can be done to keep it on folks' minds. And I just wanted to suggest that. And one final thing, the mail-in ballot, the absentee ballot that people received, there were a number of them who didn't receive their absentee ballot until, what was it, Friday? The Friday before Tuesday's election, and it was kind of difficult for them. And some ended up having to, make some kind of arrangement, even though they're handicapped. They wanted to vote so badly until they got somebody stuck them in a car and bring them, to vote, which was really, that defeats the purpose of you having, ballot. So those were some of the things I wanted to mention, but I was really pleased with the focus on ADA and the notification. People, when they're, see, this is another change, that third, early voting site.
We're gonna know.
So how are you gonna let people
We're
know?
working on that
Y'all can get free,
now.
you know.
We are, our internet site is much better thanks to some folks helping us with that and getting the information out. And we plan on using that quite a bit, our internet and social media and things such as that. But I feel very fortunate in that. Now, are you done this week?
Yeah, I'm finished, thank you.
I just want to say a few things before we adjourn. First of all, did you want to say something, ma'am? I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. I want to see what what Ms. Lucas said about the ADA. But first of all, I walk every day pretty much in the mall. And I know it's the sign on it, and the guy who drives the car, he says only 75 and older. But there are a number of people that come through here to vote. They're not 75, but they have health issues. And so
He's aware of that.
if he didn't pick them up, because I was standing there and looked at them. These people just came a certain distance, they stopped and waited until they eventually, because I just kept looking. I said, let me see how you people gonna get to the, in here to the board of election to vote. So we might want to look at people who not necessarily elderly, but who have disabilities too, I mean, just knee problems and stuff, that kind of thing. You can't, once you get to that door from that parking lot, you out of breath and your knees are hurt. And then God tells you that you're not 75, and so you gotta prolong a little longer. So, I saw a number of those doing the early voting.
We'll get that fixed, I promise.
Okay.
I just want to say it was astonishing how hard and how often Mr. Barron was driving that golf cart back and forth. There was with one seat, just one seat in a golf cart, and people lined up, including outside this office. I counted 10 people who were handicapped and had to stand in front of the enclosed area. There is an enormous demand, and I think maybe we did a two-seater because I don't want to say that it was not intentional. I'm sure that he wanted to take everybody. I know personally people who were younger than me that were taken, but there's just too much of a demand because this is so inaccessible. I mean, it's just an inaccessible location, period.
Thank you.
So they did a good job. And I have one other comment about the monitoring the ballots. We did recruit a nonpartisan monitor that is has to be appointed by the chief judge. But it would be a great thing to make sure that all the parties are there. I saw no Republican watchers. I saw no Republican monitors. So it would be a good thing to have everybody involved.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't done an absentee ballot lately, but because of the little problem we're having with them bargaining and so forth, filling out correctly for each of the items they vote for, do you send something extra with the, I'm assuming you do have something that tells them how to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the PSA that she mentioned, if you kind of say, hey, y'all, we did a great job on the absentee ballot, but we need you to do this. Or just something to remind, because I was very pleased with that. I was really great.
You read directions.
Everything I've heard today too. So thank you.
You read the directions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Two quick questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we just talk about RLA and RFP stand for?
RLA is a risk limiting audit. We do it after every significant election where we take a sample of the ballots from different polling places or urban locations and ignore the QR code, but only count by the text.
The state tells us which precincts and to pull it, which they randomly pull it. We pull it and make sure that the numbers count it and we actually count the ballots.
And
To make sure it's
thus
just
far,
risk
they've
limiting.
always matched the computerized total event created from the QR code.
Well, he said RFP, it's a request for proposal. That means he's going to take, wants to see who else wants to have it besides Theranos.
More stable,
The problem we have with that kind of location is it has to be a government-owned or government-occupied building for early voting, or it has to be one that's already a precinct. And it's not, we have them generous off of Western College, but we can't use Western College because they're not a government agency or government building, and they're not a regular precinct. Thank goodness for the Presbyterian Church on Women's that we went to, and they agreed to do it. Now, he's right. We can't get into this. We were told we had Theranos ready, and then we were told we didn't. And thank goodness we're able to find Presbyterian. This is a tremendous election. Had a decent turnout, 27%, which is not normal for this type of election, a little low on the low side. I hate to say it, but it's become the norm.
That's actually, we should think it's a little bit on the high side.
So I said, it's become the norm. Speaking of norm, the first thing I want to do is thank our staff. I want to thank all the guys, Norm and Mr. Skinner, you guys, and fellows for putting it out there. I'm not sure people realize, that stuff just doesn't show up. There are counties that use moving companies to do this. This stuff is heavy. It's on one big, giant push cart. Everything is, and these guys get that stairs and pick it up the next day after it's over, so they can't sit, and keep it stored back there. And we have how many pieces? 3,000 pieces of equipment now?
About 5,000.
5,000 pieces of equipment that they have to do for the election. So, we're short-staffed, and they do a fabulous job. Mr. Norm, Mr. Skinner, please tell your staff how much I appreciate it. We all appreciate what everybody, and the public too. Turnout was low or average. It was good. I want to remind people that if you did not vote in the general election, you can vote in the primary. We need to let people, am I correct? Oh, yeah, right. We need to let people know that. I had that question come to me a lot. I wish some of the news was here so they could help us, so they could help us a lot. The email, like you said, the mail is a problem, but those ballots can be dropped off here. Hopefully, when we get our new location out there, we'll be able to move that ballot box closer to the front so we can drop off there. I want to thank my board for being here. I want to thank Tom for being there, or Bob for being here so late, and making sure that everything got done. I think we have a board that works very well together, and we're happy with that. And I thank you all. With that being said, I'm going to entertain a motion for adjournment. So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you all for caring. No.
Okay, well,
Tell William good luck.